Mars or Bust by Chris Duffett. Chapter 1. Existential Dread, Tater Tots, and a Faint Glimmer of Mars. Journal entry. October 17th, 2025. It's been 3 months. 3 months since the Niagara County Education Board strategically reallocated me right out of my job. This happened after what I can only imagine was a series of mind-numbingly dull PowerPoint presentations by a consultant named Kyle from Albany. A man whose personality, by the way, seemed to be 90% corporate jargon and 10% aggressively patterned ties. Curriculum Logistics Coordinator was deemed non-essential personnel due to severe and unforeseen state funding shortfalls. It was a title that always sounded more important than it was. My work was mostly making sure textbooks didn't end up in Alaska, and school bus routes vaguely resembled something a sane person might design. Kyle delivered the news with the kind of practiced, insincere empathy one usually reserves for discussing the weather at a funeral. My severance package was a form letter and a handshake that felt like I was being subtly checked for office supplies. So this is my current reallocated state. Most days, consciousness reluctantly reasserts itself around 10:53 a.m. Showering, I've discovered, is often a negotiable part of the daily schedule. I frequently defer it until such time as tangible evidence of impending non-virtual human interaction becomes statistically significant. Given current trends, my soap is enjoying a well-earned sabbatical. My laptop, an aging machine whose fan emits a sound not unlike a dying blender, is my primary companion. That, and this, Manifest Your Destiny Through Proactive Journaling notebook, I bought in a fit of misguided optimism from the dollar store. Some self-help channel I fell into claimed daily logging could realign my chakras and attract abundance. So far, it's mostly attracted existential dread and a worrying number of tater tot crumbs between the pages. But hope springs eternal, or something. So I dutifully record my profound lack of destiny manifestation. Journal entry, October 18th, 2025. My primary directive these days is the meticulous management of my remaining pantry staples. This happens between half-hearted attempts to make my LinkedIn profile sound less like a desperate plea for validation. Current headline: detail-oriented logistics professional with proven track record in, well, showing up mostly on time. And launching said profile into the digital void where resumes go to dream. The freezer contains 17 tater tots. The cupboard, 3 bricks of Mr. Noodles, spicy chicken of course, because if one is embracing the void, one might as well do it with a bit of a kick. This, I've calculated with unflinching precision, provides sufficient caloric intake for approximately 1.8 viewings of that 9-hour supercut of unexplained aerial phenomena. The definitive collection. That's before genuine, non-simulated hunger pangs necessitate the donning of actual trousers for a grocery run. The house, my 2-bedroom Lewiston box of rapidly diminishing equity, is quiet. Not the meditative quiet of a scholar's study. More the, is anyone actually still alive in here quiet? The kind of quiet where you can hear the gentle hum of the refrigerator plotting its eventual costly demise. Through my primary observation portal, a strategically angled slit in the living room blinds, I sometimes observe Mrs. Henderson, my neighbor. She's engaged in her daily, almost frighteningly disciplined horticultural endeavors. Her lawn is a verdant carpet, her begonias, a terrifyingly perfect phalanx of floral conformity. My lawn, by contrast, is currently pursuing a more laissez-faire approach to existence. It's a bold experiment in rewilding that mostly involves dandelions achieving sentience. We wave, sometimes. It's a complex, unspoken neighborhood dialogue. Coffee is less a beverage, more a daily test of my will to live. Today's brew, an archaeological marvel coaxed from the bottom of a canister I'm fairly certain predates the invention of the internet, tastes primarily of disappointment, with a subtle aftertaste of burnt dreams. The laptop, as previously noted, remains my primary companion in this endeavor. Journal entry, October 19th, 2025. The YouTube dives are a structured descent into glorious distraction. There's the intellectual betterment phase, a surprisingly engaging vintage NASA documentary about the challenges of early space food, all tang and freeze-dried nightmares. Then, the that's clever phase, channels where people build improbable things in their garages. Think homemade rockets that achieve an altitude of 6 feet, or DIY submarines that look suspiciously like repurposed water heaters. I admire the dedication, the sheer, unblinking commitment to an idea, however ill-advised. And then, of course, there's the, well, we've officially left Kansas Toto phase. It's the realm of channels meticulously analyzing blurry photos of tic-tac UFOs, or presenting irrefutable proof of secret government weather control machines, usually involving a lot of red circles and shaky camera work. Or perhaps it's a thoughtful exploration of whether all pigeons are, in fact, sophisticated biomechanical surveillance drones. I watch, not as a true believer, but as a connoisseur of conviction. These people, bless their tinfoil-lined hearts, believe. And in a world where my own belief in, say, the inherent fairness of the job market has taken a significant nosedive, their certainty is a bizarre sort of comfort. I might mutter to the laptop, "Can you believe this guy with the laser pointers and the pyramids?" The laptop, of course, remains silent. Its algorithm perhaps judges my viewing choices, but offers no audible commentary. Yet. Journal entry, October 20th, 2025. Today, after another spectacularly unsuccessful morning of resume flinging, my laptop's algorithm served something different. Perhaps it sensed my impending descent into full-blown pajama-clad hermitude, or maybe it was just trying to shake things up. Not another compilation of creepy trail cam footage. An advertisement. Slick. Professional. Overflowing with a kind of earnest, uncomplicated optimism I vaguely recalled from a more hopeful era of my life. Soaring, manipulative orchestral music made my cheap laptop speakers feel momentarily symphonic. Quick cuts showed diverse, competent-looking people in gleaming white spacesuits, striding purposefully across a landscape of breathtakingly desolate ochre-red plains. A voice, smooth as a politician's promise, resonated with quiet authority. NASA is now recruiting for the Ares program, a new era of human exploration, a journey to Mars. Are you ready to build the future? I actually paused the video I was half watching about whether gargoyles are just misunderstood time travelers. Mars, with a capital M, not the candy bar, not some obscure indie band from Portland, the actual honest-to-goodness fourth rock from the sun. A sound escaped me. A short, sharp bark of a laugh, the kind that has more surprise in it than actual humor. "Oh, right," I said, addressing the frozen image of an astronaut planting a flag on what is presumably not Lewiston. Me, Eric Kendal. My most recent notable achievement was successfully locating a matching pair of socks. Stand by for my application, NASA. I'm sure it'll go right to the top of the pile, just as soon as I figure out where I left my pants. But my finger didn't move to close the tab. I rewound, watched it again. Those capable people. That impossible red landscape. That overwhelming sense of something else. Something that wasn't this quiet, dusty house, wasn't the taste of lukewarm instant coffee and failure. The third time through, I leaned back. My chair, a long-suffering veteran of my various stages of unemployment, groaned a mournful protest. I stared at the ceiling, at the water stain. I'm now convinced it isn't a map of Idaho at all, but rather a surprisingly accurate topographical representation of my own dwindling motivation. Mars. So far away it might as well be a different reality altogether. The ad ended. My laptop's screensaver, a slowly swirling, impossibly distant galaxy, flickered on. It offered no solutions, only silent, cosmic indifference. The silence of the house returned, but it felt different now, less empty, more charged, like the air before a storm. I'm still sitting there, the faint, spicy aroma of a long-since-eaten Mr. Noodles mingling with the scent of old coffee and quiet desperation, when I feel it. Not a lightning bolt, not an angelic choir, just a tiny, almost imperceptible click from somewhere deep inside, in a part of my brain I thought had been permanently switched off by too many HR department memos. It was like an old pilot light, long dormant, sputtering once, twice, then catching with a small, hesitant, but stubbornly persistent blue flame. It doesn't mean anything, probably just the spicy chicken, but it's there. End of Chapter 1.